time to get started.
That is cool.
Yeah. What about you, Jake? You have an extensive workout background, but why'd you want to start coaching and stuff?
Yeah.
Or just where's your fitness journey begin?
Geez. Okay. So I grew up playing one-on-one basketball in Southern LA, hustling
Cool.
people for money.
Shut up.
Just like White Man Can't Jump?
With Wesley Snipes, who was
That's
my best
pretty
friend.
cool.
I've seen you touch a basketball.
Basketball was during wrestling season, so I suck at it. So.
No.
Yeah.
It's real.
And playing football and got to do that at kind of a high level and travel around the world and do some cool stuff like that. But then definitely after high school and college, I ran into like workout just plateau and was going to the rec center and doing the old chest and tries and back and buys 2 days a week and sitting around and doing sets of 8 for like an hour and then just feeling so not motivated and hated it and all of that stuff. And then found the gym when it was in Fairhaven, and you and I have that story where you sold me pretty hard on it. I was down in Fairhaven on a date actually that wasn't going very well, and then gym and was like, all right, I got to walk over there. I'll talk to you later.
21-year-old Jake walks in.
20-year-old.
Well, I was lying. I was actually like 19 and told you I was 21.
I remember.
Yeah.
That was I think one of the greatest. We need to create a plaque in the gym of like greatest lies at the gym that have occurred, and that one is so up there. That was hilarious. Sorry. Anyways.
No, but so then I started doing CrossFit, man, and it was awesome. And I remember joining in the very beginning. There weren't that many of us. It was like you and me and Brian Ely were working together every like Tuesday and Thursday, which was a blast. I was about 50 pounds lighter than I am right now, which is like frightening to think of. And and then coaching really, I coached. So I like ran our youth wrestling program when I was in high school. So I really liked coaching kids.
That was my only negative.
What? Is that me? Sorry.
Oh, I didn't know if she was talking to me. I was like, Olivia, you talking shit?
Yeah.
I can't hear her now. And then, coached like flag football and stuff like that. And so I always knew I liked it, but Josh approached me and asked if I'd be interested in, getting certified and coaching at the gym. And I had been involved with the members in the gym for a long time that it was kind of a smooth transition. I've always looked up to Elijah so much that I just wanted to follow in his footsteps as much as I can.
Your name is Elijah's dad on this.
No, but it's been incredible. being able to step into that role and just kind of help people with it's cool because like short of the CrossFit certification, I don't have really any other certs. I just like know how to coach based on how Josh had coached me as an athlete and stuff like that. And you get told things enough times that you can help people do it themselves. And so it's been really rewarding. And that's about it. Short story. And I miss everybody like hell. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Like you and Courtney, it's cool how like you kind of grew up through the gym. It's like, Elijah and I are like the Craigslist ad guys. They got
Oh, geez.
You're right.
We started at the same time.
Gang.
You want to take this?
Blake, I want to hear your story.
I want to see your face.
Yeah.
Where is he?
Yeah.
I've been multitasking on some thesis data analysis. So,
I want to see your face.
But I haven't been attention. Sorry.
There we go. Look at that guy.
Do we really want to do another story time? I feel like we've
Hold
had
on.
a lot of story time.
Well, where are you right now?
I'm at home.
This is your house?
Yeah, I moved.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I have a studio that's on a property with another house.
Cool.
It was the most accessible solution to my living needs right now because I'm about to graduate and I don't know where I'm going to go to school next, and I have this holding pattern that I'm in. So they were kind enough to let me live in this really nice studio for an excellent price that has a washer dryer and a heater for Momo to bake in front of. and it's very friendly. So
Nice.
yeah, I like it here.
Good.
Okay. So for me, I was a really athletic kid up until 12, and then we moved to Vegas, and I grew resentful and angry at having to leave California, and I gained a lot of weight, and I reduced activity to a very significant degree where as much as possible I would sit. That's all I wanted to do was just sit. My grades never suffered too bad. I still stayed a pretty good student, but I just gave up on sports. And, again, when you think about adjusting to somewhere new, sports is one of the greatest outlets you could ever ask for if you're somehow involved in it. And I didn't even give myself that opportunity early on. So my health suffered a lot for it. I was 42% body fat at one point and had a few conversations with doctors that were that were a little scary, but even that didn't even motivate me to do anything about it. It was a project my sophomore year in high school where I saw myself on video and was sickened to a degree that I honestly can't even describe. I looked at who I was and I couldn't believe it was me. I really didn't accept it. I was like, that is not me. That is not who I am. And that summer, I went to Paso Robles, California, where I eventually settled down. More so, settled down like I got married and had kids. But I found a route that down and back I ended up learning was 1.5 miles. But I started running. It's like I'm gonna run this nonstop. And my first time doing it, I threw up. But I did it nonstop, and then I repeated it. And then by the end of the summer, I was able to run 9 miles straight. So kind of similar to Courtney, endurance activities kind of got me back in the swing of things. And then I started track and field and football and took both of those pretty far. I took track through college. I took football to almost the NFL. I had some tryouts with some teams, worked out for the Raiders, the Broncos, the Cardinals, the Rams, and did some CFL tryouts, some arena football tryouts. Never signed a contract. It was kind of, we really like you, but, why would we sign a guy who, like at the time I was 27, why would we sign a guy who's 27? We can sign a guy who's 22 and has the same experience. Like, we're going to take the younger guy every time. But for me, along the way, it still felt good that I was told, like, yeah, you're physically good enough. You can do it. And again, like, to get some workouts with some NFL teams was a pretty big success. So I was stoked on that. But how all that kind of connects to how I started the career, losing weight was a big accomplishment for me, and I wanted to share that with other people. So that got me into personal training to begin with, and I did a lot of the rigorous hours on the gym floor that I'm sure Josh experienced. I know Elijah, you experienced too. Selling packages and hustling and packing in way too many people in one day, but just because you can do it, smashing sandwiches in the personal training office just to keep yourself awake, like just all the isms attached to what that job brings. But something about it just kept relighting my fire. And then I found CrossFit because I had a few trainers in the business that were getting into it. And at the time, it challenged a lot of my perspectives in a way that I never expected. It made me deal with my own bullshit with respect to how I interpreted fitness. Because I thought that I had a pretty exploratory approach. And then I look at this model, I'm like, this is crap. That's basically was my attitude towards, like, this is crap. You don't do weightlifting for time. You don't do this for time. You don't do this. And it just, again, like, it made me question my own questions when I did my first workout, which was DT. And I just remember my forearms and my lungs just being swollen and this feeling of like, wow, like, this is incredible. Not to mention when you do that in front of a bunch of other people, the vulnerability that you experience is pretty profound. So that part of CrossFit was something that I immediately took to. It was like, wow, I have a lot in the way that I'm observing things that I need to face. And I did it, and I continue to do it to this day. CrossFit makes me want to prove myself wrong. Like, if I find myself becoming beholden to a certain position, I immediately kind of remind myself, like, wait a minute, why? Like, what makes you so certain about this? So I love the model for that. I love the kind of thinker that Greg Glassman is. There's plenty of things that I disagree with, of course, but that's what I've always appreciated about it. It's like, hey, like disagreeing is good here. We want you to come here and be challenged. It's good. We welcome it. And I really respect that. And I have definitely found that in the experience being at Iron Industry too. Everybody there challenges me in a different way. But I'm going to be really vulnerable for a second. I honestly feel like I don't fit in at all in a lot of ways. Like I'm kind of I'm wearing a red shirt. I'm kind of the canary in the coal mine right now in a way. but it's been really,
That's just Bellingham.
It's really healthy for me. No, honestly, and that's been my Pacific Northwest experience. I'd say kind of summed up to some degree. Yeah. I've never felt like I fit in here, and I'm glad. I'm glad I don't, because again, I have to. I'm constantly having to check myself on perspectives and opinions and viewpoints, and where else would I get something like that? I don't know, and who knows? Had I moved anywhere else, maybe it was just where I was at in life, and this would have happened anyways. But all I have is the evidence that's in front of me, and what has been brought out in me. I cannot just credit myself. It's absolutely everybody that I've had the privilege to meet. Which of course starts with the gym, because that's where, if I've spent as much time anywhere besides campus, it's, Iron Industry. So, I'd say to kind of bring it full circle, I'm really thankful I found CrossFit. It's
that's cool, man. I'm glad the gym has that for you too, because we're super thankful for you. I think that your classes and who shows up is kind of a tell-all to that as well, man. That a lot of people love you and what you do. I think it's cool. And just hearing you talk and kind of the stories that everyone's coming out with, I think there is always this questioning of CrossFit, especially as certain workouts come out or things come out. But through those challenging workouts give us a lot of aha moments, whether they're personal ahas on your own training or just ahas for yourself as coaches. And I'm wondering if you have any of those that you would like to share that through your time of a workout, just a special moment for you, or in working with a client during a class or anything. Yeah. Oh.
Is this open for anyone?
Open for anyone, yeah.
Okay, I'll jump in. My first aha moment was at another CrossFit gym. We were doing Bear Complex, and I, being a runner, this was back in my strong running days, and I didn't have any capacity for lifting heavy weight, but the person I was lifting with, because we were doing a partner version, kept telling me to add weight to the bar, and I kept doing it. And it honestly blew my mind how much weight. I don't remember how much it was, but my ability to keep doing it, and just how bad everything was burning, but I was able to get through it. And that was probably the moment. I honestly fell in love with CrossFit and being able to do that. So that's my moment, at least.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's really cool.
I have a similar, it kind of is in the same vein as that, Courtney, about strength and stuff. And I think that was the thing that really attracted me to CrossFit, is when we started doing weightlifting, and I love Olympic lifting. That was something that I don't think I would have been exposed to, that a lot of people aren't exposed to in traditional gyms.
Yeah.
And so same thing, like I mentioned, I was much lighter when I joined the gym. When I joined the gym, I had been struggling with an eating disorder for quite some time, and even up through the beginning of the gym, and had my priorities all messed up, and that had changed my perspective about strength. And I remember it was 2 moments that kind of worked together. And there was one moment where I was at the gym with Josh and Elijah, and I was trying to PR my clean at 225, and I must have failed 20 times in a row. And ended up getting it that day, but it was still so fun. And at that time I still was